With the 8th installment of the DC's Tomorrowverse, we're finally on the verge of knowing the true aftermath of the Dark Apocalypse War. Going through a brief run-through, after the events of 2020's Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, the world had come to meet its end. The attempts to defeat Darkseid backfired, and after immense struggle and the loss of many heroes, Trigon was summoned to defeat Darkseid in Apocalypse. The team of heroes, or whatever was left of them, returned back to Earth, only to learn that the planet was also about to meet its end. Batman revealed that Darkseid's Reapers had drained enough from Earth's magma to compromise its rotation, and there was no way to fix that. Soon, billions would be dying, and with no other option, Constantine convinced Flash to run back in time and reset the timeline. This was how the rule of the universe was broken, and it eventually came to cause the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Hi everyone, and welcome to another marvelous video. With the release of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 1, we get to see what Barry Allen and the entire universe had to go through in attempting to reset the timeline. So without any further delay, let us begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What exactly happened after Flash tried resetting the timeline? After Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, DC showcased Constantine. The House of Mystery showcased how Constantine was imprisoned inside the House of Mystery by Spectre. In each of the rooms, John was repeatedly killed by his friends turned into monsters. Every time he died, he would wake up in a new scenario where his painful death was inevitable. After suffering innumerable times, John managed to escape, but only to be confronted by the Spectre. It was then revealed that the Spectre had imprisoned John to save him from what was about to come next. He had given John an opportunity to live in the dream realm with his friends, but it was John's deep self-hatred and guilt that transformed his friends into vicious monsters and demons. The Spectre continued by stating that the universe is a living force, and it will punish John for breaking its rules and causing it harm. The film ended with Constantine drifting towards the universe, shown as a massive bright light. Production-wise, DCAU, following Dark Apocalypse War, switched to standalone films like Batman: Soul of the Dragon and Injustice, following which we get the Tomorrowverse. At the end of 2023's Justice League War World, which was the 7th installment of Tomorrowverse, Harbinger teleported Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from War World for a new danger threatening the multiverse. Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 begins with Flash running across time and space. Soon we see a Shadow talking to Barry Allen in his lab after he was struck by lightning. Next we see Barry meeting Iris for the first time. The two sit for lunch, and the scene changes to Flash and Superman facing Amazo. Amazo was an android created by Professor Ivo under Lex Luthor's manipulation, with the primary goal of stealing energy from metahumans and redirecting them for the better of humanity. Superman's energy was excessively absorbed, and fortunately, Green Arrow arrived and rescued the two of them from the scene. Before losing his senses, Superman gave Flash the address of Bruce Wayne for help, and the three of them soon arrived at Wayne Manor. Flash again slipped into another reality where he and Iris were going to buy flowers for their wedding. Explaining ways to help others without risking his life, Iris asked him to donate some money to an old beggar across the street. However, when Barry gave the beggar some money, it was revealed to be an old Constantine. John stated that all the worlds were ending and touched Barry's forehead. Screaming in pain, Barry started running and time-tripping. In the next scene, Barry answered a doorbell, and it was Bruce with young Dick Grayson. Bruce wanted Barry to take care of Dick, but Barry stated Bruce could do it better. However, before the discussion was over, Barry slipped back to the reality where the energy-depleted Superman was being treated by Batman at Wayne Manor. Batman, Flash, and Green Arrow decided to assemble heroes to fight Amazo, after managing to recruit Vixen and Martian Manhunter. When they asked Hal Jordan to join them and he declined, the old Constantine appeared before Flash and touched his forehead once again. Flash began running, and he arrived in the reality of Earth 1, the home of the crime syndicate. Barry found his counterpart, Johnny Quick, robbing a bank, and when he tried to stop him, the remaining members of the crime syndicate arrived and overpowered him. Flash time trips again, and finds himself on stage with Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Vixen, and Green Arrow, announcing their newly formed alliance. They named the team Justice League, and soon got to Amazo to drain their powers. However, he also made efforts to save humans from being harmed by this attack. Amazo was still too powerful for them, and to make matters worse, Lex Luthor arrived in his armored suit. With no other options in hand, Batman planned on calling in an airstrike to bomb Metropolis and destroy Amazo before he became a global threat. However, Flash stopped him and asked him for some time to find Amazo's creator, Professor Ivo, for help. Flash began running once again and arrived at a fortress from where he could see the entire multiverse. In a moment, he snapped to Earth 1, with Crime Syndicate capturing him and questioning him. Superwoman used her lasso of submission to know that Flash was from a parallel Earth. The concept of parallel Earths and alternate realities gave Ultraman a kick to find new challenges and worlds to conquer, as after becoming the ultimate power on Earth 1, they were all bored. Superwoman grabbed Flash by the neck and demanded to take them to other realities. Suddenly, the old John Constantine arrived and cast a spell to free Superwoman. The Crime Syndicate identified John as the beggar who never shuts up, talking about the end of the world, and was about to kill him before John froze them in his spell as well. Before Ultraman could make his move, John showed him glimpses of how a wave has been erasing their reality as they spoke. The visual shocked everyone, and Flash time-tripped back to the day of his wedding. Recalling how something major would happen on the day of his marriage, he rushed to tell the same to his wife-to-be Iris West. Flash began running again, and arrived at LexCorp in the reality of the ongoing threat, Amazo. Flash remembered that he had come to find Professor Ivo to stop Amazo, and as he carried him to the scene, he found himself in the soon-to-die Earth 3. He was watching through John's portal how destruction rampaged the globe, and as he intended to go out there and help, John stated that it was already too late. As Flash stated to have seen him in his reality, old John replied that he had been walking through all worlds that were doomed to die as his punishment. Flash asked him what was the reason for the punishment, but John could not remember. The only thing he could recall was that Flash shared his guilt and punishment. It could be very well understood why Barry shared John's guilt. It was Barry and John who tried resetting reality to save their world. Did Flash save the multiverse? At what cost? Flash's consciousness bounced back to his fight with Amazo, and he arrived at the scene with Ivo, where Amazo was draining energies from the metahumans, while Lex tried killing Batman and Green Arrow. To prove that Amazo's new programming set by Lex was flawed, Ivo asked the droid to transfer the captured energies to him, and see if it cured his Hutchinson-Gilford syndrome. Amazo complied, and the metahuman energy killed Ivo. Amazo found its primary function flawed, and Batman helped infer that when Ivo was working on quantum energy absorption with Lex, the latter induced Ivo with Hutchinson-Gilford syndrome so that he would end up making Amazo. Realizing how Lex had caused the death of his maker, Amazo destroyed Lex's suit and was about to kill him before Flash asked him to stop, pointing out that Ivo would have never wanted Amazo to kill any human. With Ivo's corpse in his hands, Amazo shut himself. Flash returned to his wedding with Iris, and that's when Harbinger showed up and asked for Barry's help to fight the new multiversal threat. He arrived at a fortress where superheroes from different realities were brought to find a way to stop the antimatter wave from erasing worlds. They were called in by the Monitor. The scene shifts abruptly to an old Iris and Barry and to Earth 1. Earth 1 perished, and as Johnny Quick was erased by the antimatter wave, Barry got complete access to the Speed Force and escaped from the dying reality. Meanwhile, with the Monitor, as the heroes questioned how they could possibly fight a non-sentient wave from erasing realities, the Monitor stated that he had no idea. He had not only brought superpowered beings, but also the most genius minds from different realities, all in the hope of finding a way to stop the antimatter wave. However, after witnessing the end of Earth 1, when Barry explained his time-tripping to everyone, the heroes came up with a plan to save the ongoing threat. They planned to construct massive vibrational towers on the remaining Earth. However, when they were constructing the tower on Earth 1, the antimatter wave began accelerating, something they were not prepared for. Barry tried his best, but when it became too late, old John appeared and asked him to find Iris. Barry found her, and as the wave approached, he vibrated with all his strength to stop time except for himself and Iris. Since then, Barry spent his lifetime constructing the tower and recharging Amazo with his energy. Iris died of old age, and finally, when the time came, Barry completed the tower, and Amazo released the massive stored energy to vibrate the worlds in the right frequency and phase through the antimatter wave. It was a success, and the entire multiverse was saved. However, Barry was claimed by the Speed Force. However, all of his efforts were in vain, and the multiverse began vanishing due to an anomaly. Barry was approached by the Spectre, who blamed them for the crisis and sent him on time trips. Finally, it explained why Barry was time-tripping in the first place. The old shadowy figure shown at the beginning of the film, and to Bruce in Justice League War Worlds, was none other than the old Barry. Marvelous verdict. We've finally come to the end of the video, and we hope you've liked our content. It's clear that both Flash and John faced their punishment. Spectre played a critical role for both John and Barry. It can be deduced that it was the Spectre who sent Barry into the time tripping as his punishment for meddling with time, which caused the universal anomaly. Despite Barry making all possible attempts to save the multiverse, it was bound to collapse. Crisis on Infinite Earths is a trilogy, and we can't wait to see what happens in the next 2 installments. With that, we will be ending today's video. Feel free to add your comments and stay tuned for the next marvelous video. And if you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone!